See, we have some experience of these things within this world. Friendship, parental relationship, married love, paramour, all these different things. Relationship with paraphernalia, with pets. We can understand there's a spectrum of different types of loving relationships and loving exchange. So we're told this world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So whatever is here is also there. So when it comes to parental love, and particularly in this case that you're mentioning, Mother Saci, well, we know in this world how much love a mother could have for her son, how much love a son could have for his mother. So again, like in mathematics, they have a symbol for infinity. You take a particular number and then you put an infinity symbol and saying, now we're taking this number to the infinite. So now we're taking this relationship, parental feelings, and we're taking it to the infinite. So what would be the infinite magnitude of parental love? We would have to admit that would be something inconceivable, but at least we can understand it would be very great. It would be very intense, inconceivably intense, the love and affection they could have for one another. And the reason I mention this is then to factor in separation, where Nimai Pandit leaves Navadvip to take sannyas, how heartbreaking that would be for his mother and his wife at the time, Vishnupriya, who we're told was 14 or 15 in those days. It just means she was very young. So it's in the sloka, some hint is given where it says, Tyaktva sudushtuja surepchita raja lakshmin dharmista arja bachasad yadagara ranyam mayam rigam dvaitam ipsitam anvadavad bande mahapurushate charanaravindam. So it says Tyaktva, that means giving up. Sudushtaja surepshita Raja Lakshmin. Raja Lakshmi here we take to be, because it means royal throne, but here the royal throne is the heart of Vishnupriya. The royal throne of the love of her heart, which is inconceivable to us, that he had to leave. And Mother Saci. He's known as Sacinandan, Saci Shuno, the son of Mother Saci, who we take was Yashoda and Krishna-lila, has appeared as Saci and Gaur-lila. So when, after he leaves, the devotees find Mother Saci like a statue, devastated. And she just says, and whatever's here belongs to all you devotees. She's heartbroken to an inconceivable degree. And Nimai Pandit has now taken sannyas, and he's in a state of divine madness, searching for Krishna. Kahan Krishna Prananat Murali Badan, Kahan Karun, Kahan Pan, Brajendra Nandan. He's running in every direction, searching for Krishna. And Guru Maharaj said, actually in a childlike state. That's why after a few days, the devotees, they're trying to guide him in a particular way. They send Nityananda Prabhu disguise, and Nityananda Prabhu's telling some cowherd boys in the local area, if this sannyasi comes, meaning Nimai Pandit, Mahaprabhu now, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he says, where is Vrindavan? You tell this way. And Mahaprabhu, when he sees the cowherd boys, he's thinking, I'm in Vrindavan, look. He sees they're herding cows and they're dressed like cowherd boys. He's so happy. He thinks, I'm in Vrindavan. Where is Jamuna? Oh, you go this way. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. He's so happy. And when he reaches the Jamuna, there's waiting Advaita Acharya on a boat with fresh cloth. And Mahaprabhu, he's starting to come out of his internal state. He has 3 states. The deep internal state, half internal, half external, and external. So he's starting to come, and he's confused. Advaita, how did you know I was in Vrindavan? And Advaita Acharya says, wherever you are is Vrindavan. So what do you mean, how did I know you were in Vrindavan? Wherever you are is Vrindavan. Right? So then Mahaprabhu gradually realizing, oh, Nityananda, Advaita, they've tricked me. And they're saying, please, my Lord, you haven't eaten for 3 days, however many days. Please, you come to my house, take a little something, put on some fresh clothes. So they take him to Shantipur, the house of Advaita Acharya. And they bring Mother Saci. And Mother Saci comes. And she only wants to cook for Mahaprabhu. And she gets that opportunity. And afterwards, Mahaprabhu very movingly, he approaches his mother and he's practically saying, what I've done is wrong. Because his eldest brother, Vishwarup, took sannyas, went away and left the world, and the father had died. It only left Nimai and Vishnu Priya and Mother Saci. So she was always fearful that he would take sannyas, and then he did. That left them apparently abandoned. So Mahaprabhu says to her at one point, he said, actually this body belongs to you. You gifted this life to me. This body belongs to you. You tell me what you want me to do. Whatever you say, I will do that. Because actually you own me. And Sachi Mata will say, Advaita and Harida, they brought Mahaprabhu down in this world. We'll say, oh, Vishnu Priya, Mahaprabhu is her gift to the world. But here, Mahaprabhu telling Sachi Devi, whatever you tell me to do, I will do that. And Sachi Devi, mercifully, for the benefit of everyone, she says, if you will stay in Puri, in Jagannath Puri, then the Prabhus, the devotees will be going, Navadvip Puri, and I'll get some news about you from time to time. So my request to you is if you'll make Puri your base. That's what she asked. And we know that is where Mahaprabhu was based. Traveling for 6 years, then 18 years in Puri, and really 18 to 24, but the last 12 years behind closed doors with Srup Damodar and Ramananda in the Gangbhira, and Radha Bhav, the depths of Radha Bhav. Radha Bhavaduti Subolita Nomi Krishna Swarupam. And it's mentioned by Kaviraj Goswami, what he's giving, his notes are, what he's giving is based upon the notes of Swarup Damodar, that there are 4 different places where Mahaprabhu would personally appear. With, Nityananda, what is it? Who else? I can't, Mother Saci, Nrsingananda Brahmachari, and maybe one other. So, Mother Saci she's offering, she went on cooking every day and offering to Mahaprabhu, and she would have visions of Mahaprabhu coming and taking that prasadam, relishing that. But sometimes she would think it was just a hallucination or some sort of divine madness. So she'd think, did I even cook anything? She would cook again, and Mahaprabhu would come again and take that. So at one point, Mahaprabhu, realizing this, he sent a message through the devotees to tell her, you're not hallucinating. Every day I come and take your prasadam. Which again is inconceivable. As we hear Krishna at one point saying, when he's in Dwaraka, and he's trying to console the Brajagopis, saying, by the mercy of Narayan or Vishnu, I come and see you every day. So some will think, oh, from Dwaraka he sends his expansion. But rather we'll think, Krishna is maintaining an expansion there. Really, he's with them. He doesn't go outside of Vrindavan. So these are mystical, mysterious things. Because on the one hand, we can think, well, such a cruel thing, and so pathetic to considering the love of Mother Saci and Vishnu Priya and all the devotees in Navadvip, to leave them. Guru Maharaj used to sing this song that says, Nadia Dar Kore Gora Jaire, that the light of Navadvip has left when the devotees realize he's left. And it's so painful for them, as it was painful for the devotees when Krishna left Vrindavan. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his songs, taking himself to be one of the inhabitants of Navadvip, he said because after 6 years, according to Vedic tradition, after 6 years, a sannyasi can go back to his hometown for like a visit. So 6 years go by, Mahaprabhu comes back to Navadvip, and there's, pandemonium. Right? The people are so excited. Hundreds of thousands of people are eager to get a glimpse of Mahaprabhu. And we're told, Rupa Goswami, Sado pasya sriman drita manuja kaye pranaitam vahadbi girvane girisha parameshti prabhritibhi sha bhaktevya sudham nijabhajana mudra mupadisham satchetanna kime punar apidashor yashati padam. That even the gods, Brahma and Shiva, and they're coming in disguise, in human disguise, so they can have a glimpse of the beauty of Mahaprabhu. Right? Hiranyanam Lakshmi Varan, Kamar Budha, Madhura Dojula Tunur, Jatinamu Tankshas Tarani Koti Vidyoti Basana, Hiranyanam Lakshmi Varan Abhivavang Angika Rucha, Sat Chaitanya kime punar pidashor yashati vadam. Raso dama kamar buddha. How beautiful. Said, if 10 million cupids in full-blown cupidity, that sort of beauty and seductive charm, concentrated in one, the beauty of Mahaprabhu. So even the gods are coming, so the ranks of those who are greeting Mahaprabhu when he's come back, there's exponentially, it's full of gods and goddesses who've descended from higher planets to have a glimpse of Gauranga. Right? So when Mahaprabhu comes, in the corner, there's Vishnu Priya and Saci Mata. And we know Vishnu Priya, what was her sadhana? That she takes one Krishna Nam, Hare Krishna Hare, and putting rice, like we're counting, she's putting a grain of rice and living off of that. Right? So Mahaprabhu stops at one place, and in the corner, in the periphery, are Vishnu Priya and Saci Mata. And Vishnu Priya says to Saci Mata, there's your son. She doesn't say, there's my husband. She says, there's your son. And Mahaprabhu can realize how the pain, the anguish of separation in her heart. So he wears what are called paduka, means the wooden shoe with the one peg in the front. So he steps out of his padukas and leaves them there, and then he walks on, and then Vishnu Priya comes and collects the padukas, and she worships them for the rest of her life. And Mahaprabhu proceeds to Vidyanagar. So in Vidyanagar, he's on like the second floor of the house of Vidyavachaspati, and the people, they're madly running after him. That there's so many people that when they cross the Ganga, no one drowns. They just go like that through the water and to the other side. There's too many people for anyone to drown. People are floating on pots, on anyway, to get to the other side. When they finally get to where the house of Vidyavachaspati, where Mahaprabhu is, they're climbing trees. We're told on those trees, even a twig, the trees became empowered, even a twig could sustain a human being's weight. So they're all looking, and then finally Mahaprabhu comes out on the balcony, and the crowd goes wild. It erupts, the crowd erupts in ecstasy. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a song taking himself as one of the members of that crowd and looking up at the beauty of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He says, when will Mahaprabhu give up the robes of renunciation, the dress of a Maharaj, and come back to Navadvip, to the way we used to sing and dance the holy name of Krishna and Prem Sankirtan. And it's a parallel to when the gopis see Krishna at Kurukshetra and they see him. Rajavesh means the dress of a king, surrounded by so many people in chariots. And they're thinking, when will Krishna give up this royal dress and come back to Vrindavan, to the Jamuna, and we'll sing and dance the way we used to? It's a very beautiful parallel. But what I mean to say is, by Krishna apparently removing himself and throwing them into an ocean of separation, by Mahaprabhu leaving Navadvip and putting the devotees in the depths of separation, by he Vishajalahoy Bitare Anandamoy Krishna Premer Adbhuta Charit, their hearts achieve a greater depth of love and Krishna Prem than in union. So, although from one point of view it's inconceivable and undesirable and apparently cruel from another point of view. It yields the highest type of divine love and affection and ecstasy that accompanies that. So we have to abandon conventional ways of seeing this and try and see through the eyes of, when Rupa Goswami says, Sat Chaitanya kime punara pidashor yashati badam, will I again see what I saw? We want to see through the eyes of Rupa Goswami, how he's seeing, how Krishnadas Kaviraj is seeing, how Raghunath Das Goswami is seeing, how Swarup Damodar is seeing. They're giving insight into the ultimate ecstatic position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Vatsalya Rasa of Vrindavan and the Vatsalya Rasa in Gaur Lila. When Nityananda Prabhu was taken from his home by a sannyasi, Harai Pandit, his father, he was like a statue for 3 months, not eating, not moving. And they have an Eka Chakra, we've seen that, I don't know if they call it Harai Kund, or they say it was created from his tears. So that something sweet can be produced from tears. When we were in Hungary in the summer, there's somehow this flower came to us, and it's called, I believe the name is Lily of the Valley. And it has some extraordinary fragrance. So there, remember, many of these places, they've been retrofitted with Christianity. Although they may have been pagans previously. But one of the legends there about this flower is that it was created from the tears of Mary at the crucifixion of Jesus. That her tears went into the soil and these flowers sprung up as a result of those tears. So that tears can produce something sweet, that is, requires a different type of thinking than the constraints of conventional, rational, stereotypical conceptions of things. And if we're going to deal with the infinite, we have to embrace the principle of achintya shakti, inconceivable potency, inconceivable pastimes. Yashoda in Vrindavan, out of motherly affection, the supreme reality is her child. But some sadhus going by, she's calling them over, please bless my son. Protect my son. After Krishna, like little children, they like to be thrown up into the air. So who comes? Trinavarta. A tornado, a demon in the form of a tornado. He's taking the baby Krishna, and baby Krishna is saying, this is fun. Like, whee! Like flying way up into the sky and swirling. But then what does he do? He grabs the demon by the throat. He starts choking and losing air, velocity, and then Krishna somehow lands and he doesn't die, and all the Jnana-shunya Bhakta Brijbasis come, and they're thinking, oh, we're so lucky that the child is unharmed. Then immediately Yashoda, these elderly gopis come, they've got cow tails and switches, they're chanting mantras, Om Vishnu, and they're like putting tilak on, taking cow dung, and chanting mantras and prayers to protect him. He's the supreme reality. Kunti Devi says, Gopyadade Toyikritagasi Damatavad Yate Drushashu Kalilanjana Sambramaksham. That he says, I see this beautifully bewildering vision of the supreme reality before me. That he's in the position of a child and his mother's chasing after him because he's done something naughty. He's running and crying, and they wear mascara, kajal, the children, like black eye makeup. And he said, and the tears are making the makeup run down his lotus face. And he looks so scared of his mother, and his mother's running after him. He's saying, this is so beautifully bewildering, because fear personified is afraid of him. But he's afraid of his mother. That the supreme reality and the supreme independent, right? That he can be afraid of his mother. How sweet is that? One author, lady, Bengali lady who writes books or something, she said that being interviewed, and they were saying, what are her fears? She said, my fear, what do I worry about? That my children won't fear me anymore. That they'll reach a stage where they're not afraid of me anymore. She said, I'm worried about that. So like Yashoda, Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda. How beautiful is that? That he can have just the way a child, that's the Prakrita-lila of Krishna. All the conventional stereotypes of God pale in comparison to Krishna conception. Hare Krishna.